The Onitsuka Tiger Mexico 66 is one of the hottest sneakers on the market right now. But how did this legendary sneaker spark the minds of millions, and is it worth the attention it has received in 2024? Well, we got a pair right here, and today we're gonna put them through the test. I'm THECASUAL, let's get it. The Mexico 66 traces its origins back to 1966 when it was developed as the Olympic shoe for Japan and as a flagship model to compete with the likes of Puma and Adidas. And if we compare the silhouettes of the ultra-popular Samba and the burgeoning revival of the Puma Speed Cat, we can begin to see the similarities of silhouettes and just why the Mexico 66 is among one of the top trending sneakers in the world. Not to mention, all these sneakers are pretty much the grandchildren of the German army trainer. But I digress. The 66, however, has been given a sort of pop culture legendary status, but that status comes with a bit of stolen valor. Famously associated with Bruce Lee as the sneaker he wore in the 1978 film Game of Death, the shoe rose to prominence. Problem is, these aren't the Mexico 66, just like this isn't Bruce Lee. The Mexico 66 popularity would rise again almost 30 years later when Quentin Tarantino's 2003 film Kill Bill Volume 1 paid homage to Game of Death in the iconic restaurant scene. But again, those weren't the Mexico 66. They were in fact the Onitsuka Tiger Tai Chi, a sneaker with considerably less popularity in the mainstream, but to hardcore fans of martial arts films, a grail of sorts. Side note, for those of you wondering, the Tai Chi does exist, but Onitsuka Tiger smartly doesn't make them widely available. The Tai Chi, in fact, is only available, as far as I know, at Onitsuka Tiger Nippon Made, being made in Japan, which predictably raises its price to made in Japan levels, and the quality reflects that. So for all of you wearing the 66 and thinking you got the Kill Billies or the Game of Deathies, the sad reality is that you've been kind of bamboozled by Onitsuka Tiger themselves. Sorry. With that being said, the switcheroo has cemented the Mexico 66's status, and Onitsuka Tiger even released this version, the Mexico 66 SD, which is made with higher quality materials and a slightly more narrow silhouette that is closer to the Tai Chi. The top eyelets are given the metal treatment, the laces are thinner, and the upper and sole is completely yellow in comparison to the standard model, which features a white stripe on the sole. But all that background and history is inconsequential if they aren't worth its newfound popularity status. However, before we get into that, a message from our sponsor, Squarespace. You've probably heard that Squarespace is one of the best places to build a website. If you've been here, I know you have. They have award-winning templates, backend analytics, a host of essential integrations, and phenomenal customer service, right? Well, let's go ahead and add to that. Squarespace now gives you the opportunity to build your own email templates, edit your future website on mobile, and now has a video app so you can make your site even more personal for visitors. And you're gonna wanna use all those because Squarespace's new members areas allow you to create communities, monetize, and give back to your most loyal followers and fans. And that's just the surface. By joining up, you can save 10% off of your website by using our link, squarespace.com/thecasual. So get started on that site and use Squarespace today. So I'm about to on every how to style guide when it comes to the Mexico 66. Excuse my French, and forgive me in advance for being, let's say, blunt. The Mexico 66 and its competitors, the Samba, the Speed Cat, the Gat, are relatively easy to style because they go with damn near anything. They just do. Seriously, shirt, pants, or shorts, 66, done. For those ladies or more androgynous men out there, dress, skirt, 66, finished. Sure, a slimmer silhouette does a bit more wonders for the shoe, and a slight cropped pant or wide leg can give it some flair, but let's be honest, most of you don't need a guide to how to style these because you're likely wearing something right now that goes with the sneakers, or you at least have something already. And as some of you know, I don't really like giving styling tips, but in this case, do you really need some? For me personally, I like the crop pant 66 combo as it's more reminiscent of that Kill Bill Game of Death look, but I also employ the layered up wide drapey combo with a sneaker contrast to pop out my otherwise predominantly monochrome and black outfits. It's certainly a matter of taste, and again, if you're familiar with the Samba at all, it's basically the very same setup. You could do pretty much the same thing. The 66 does have a slightly more iconic pop culture status, in my personal opinion, particularly for martial arts movie fans, especially when it comes to that yellow pair. But due to being from a less popular brand in Onitsuka Tiger, it doesn't really share the same exposure as its bigger competitors. Now, as far as the mainline shoe versus these, the SDs, it's a matter of choice, aesthetic, and price, and also quality. As said before, the SDs are more narrow yet sport higher in materials, and contrary to popular belief, they aren't made in Japan but Vietnam. Now, they do have Mexico 66 that are made in Japan, but you'll find them again at Onitsuka Tiger Nippon Made here in Japan. Or I think they have a location in Singapore, and I think online you can order from Nippon Made. So you have some options there. But are they worth it? Are they worth the hype? I really don't like using that phrase, but yeah, are they worth it? Now, I have trouble believing anything is worth the hype, mainly because getting involved with mainstream trends can be an unending rabbit hole of keeping up with the Joneses. However, as a person who is currently divorced from Nike and in a tenuous relationship with Adidas at best, I find myself gravitating more towards Onitsuka Tiger as my go-to for just general releases. And the Mexico 66 is a no-brainer for me, as I am a fan of Bruce Lee films, including Game of Death. And I also like the movie Kill Bill, so it works out. Now, part of the reason why the Mexico 66 and the Samba and the Gat and all these kind of low sneakers, in my opinion, are becoming popular right now is because they have this ability to go with everything. And it's easier for individuals to focus on the entirety of an outfit rather than solely relying on sneakers. The problem is that when these hyper micro trends turn around, like the Samba, everybody starts getting in on it. So it becomes kind of like this rat race to find the next big thing. And the Mexico 66 found some popularity in between the Samba hype and now the Puma revival, but it still is kind of the odd choice, the odd ball, so to speak. And that may be due to the fact that Onitsuka Tiger in its entirety isn't as nearly as popular in the West as it is here in Japan and Greater Asia. In fact, on Zozo.jp, Japan's #1 fashion online site, these sneakers have more than 127,000 people who've liked it, who've wished to buy it. But popular doesn't necessarily mean that you should buy them. Of course, trends are definitely worth knowing, but a lot of the time it becomes so ubiquitous that you just kind of want to avoid them. In any case, the worth of the 66 is absolutely up to you. I enjoy them because compared to others out there, they hold a personal interest value, while also being incredibly well made, particularly the SD model. Now, they are not as popular as the Samba, that is a given, but that kind of gives them a bit more freedom from ubiquity. And with people moving quickly towards the Puma Speed Cat, the Mexico 66 stands as the off-brand choice while still remaining well-known enough to be considered a more cultured choice, so to speak. Now, let us know if you are a fan of the Mexico 66 in the comments, or do you fancy the other options like the Samba, the Gat, or the Puma Speed Cat, or maybe another sneaker, or maybe none of these at all. Maybe you're just like, I don't like none of these, dog. Or, what you can do is you can suggest another brand, topic, style, or product you'd like for us to cover, particularly if they're coming from Japan, because you know that is what we do. And if you can, join us on YouTube or Patreon for future benefits and production credits. This ensures that we'll be able to deliver more consistently the showcases you'd like to see, as well as keeping this thing going and serving you bigger and better reviews and insights, while also helping us build a platform that makes all these things we talk about right here accessible to you, because that is the end game. At the very least, drop a sub, like, turn on notifications if you found this content valuable or entertaining to you, but most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info in international fashion and culture from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And I will see you guys in a minute.